The Queen is joined by Princess Eugenie at Maundy Thursday service at Windsor Castle. The Queen wore spring-like Easter yellow for the annual Maundy Thursday service at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle today. Her Majesty, 92, was joined by her granddaughter Princess Eugenie for the annual service, which sees her offering commemorative coins to senior citizens. The recipients are retired pensioners, recommended by clergy and ministers of all denominations, in recognition of service to the church and to the local community. This year, the Queen will hand out Maundy money to 93 men and women, one for each of her 93 years. She will celebrate her birthday on Saturday. Meanwhile, her husband Prince Philip, 97, who retired in August 2017, did not join the royals for the service and was seen driving in Windsor Great Park. St. George's Chapel has a significance for Princess Eugenie, as she married her husband Jack Brooksbank at the church on 12 October 2018. Princess Eugenie donned a blue floral dress from Erdem which featured a ruffled neck and long sleeves. It's a favorite of the princess, as the royal was spotted in the dress at Royal Ascot and for a meeting at the UN headquarters. She paired it with navy blue accessories, including a small hat with plate detailing by London milliner Juliette Botterill. Meanwhile, the Queen wore a buttercup-coloured Stuart Parvin outfit and matching hat by Rachel Trevor Morgan, with an Australian wattle brooch. Beneath her yellow coat, the Queen wore a bright, colourful floral skirt, which featured purple and yellow flowers. Both outfits perfectly matched the gorgeous spring flowers that the royals held as they walked into church. The presentation of the money took place during the Royal Maundy service at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. The pensioners were chosen in recognition of their service to the community and the church. When the Queen arrived at the chapel's north door with her granddaughter, they were presented with traditional nosegays, which in ancient times warded off unpleasant smells, before taking their seats at the head of the congregation. The nosegays are made up of daffodils, primroses, stocks, purple statice, freesias, ivy, heath and the herbs rosemary and thyme. This year the service was held at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle, where Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank tied the knot last year. It's a rare public appearance for Princess Eugenie and the Queen. Eugenie, now 29, last joined the Queen when her grandmother, with the Duke of Edinburgh, opened the Great North Museum in Newcastle in 2009. The then 19-year-old princess was studying English, history of art and politics at the city's university. While the royal pair were at the church service, the Queen's husband Prince Philip was seen driving his Land Rover in the estate at Windsor Castle. Philip also missed the service last year, apparently because he was experiencing some trouble with his hip. It came as a surprise at the time, as he was still named in the order of service, but it seems he ultimately decided not to attend. The royal last joined the Queen in 2017 for the annual service, which celebrates Maundy Thursday. Maundy Thursday, which is the Christian holy day falling on the Thursday before Easter, and commemorates the Maundy and Last Supper of Jesus Christ with the Apostles. The royal Maundy is an ancient ceremony which originated in the commandment Christ gave after washing the feet of his disciples the day before Good Friday. The Queen walked down lines of recipients and handed them a red purse containing a £5 coin, commemorating the 200th anniversary of the birth of Queen Victoria, and a 50p coin portraying Sherlock Holmes. Both coins have been newly minted this year. Historically, this sum of £5.50 in the red purse is made up of £3 for clothing, £1.50 in lieu of provisions and £1 for the redemption of the sovereign's gown which, before Tudor times, used to be divided between the recipients. The white purse contains uniquely minted Maundy money, which, unlike coins in general circulation, bear the portrait of the Queen produced by Mary Gillick at the start of her reign. Gillick, a sculptor, designed the portrait which appeared on the coins of the UK and some Commonwealth countries from 1953 until preparations for decimalisation began in 1968. The portrait of the Queen wearing a wreath on her head was considered to reflect the nation's optimism as it greeted a new monarch in the post-war years. This year, the money in the white purse includes 1, 2, 3, and 4 silver penny pieces.
What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment box below and don't forget to subscribe to get instant news updates.
Queen says she is deeply saddened to see the images of the fire which engulfed Notre Dame Cathedral. And her thoughts and prayers are with France at this difficult time. The Queen has sent her condolences to the people of France today over the inferno that engulfed Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Much of the 850-year-old cathedral has been ripped apart by the blaze, with the medieval wooden roof destroyed and stained glass windows believed to have been damaged. The tragedy has prompted a global outpouring of support, with leaders pledging to help France rebuild the smoldering ruin. Meanwhile, Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall also extended their sympathies in a letter to French President Emmanuel Macron. Her Majesty said she and Prince Philip were deeply saddened to see the images of the flames bursting out of the Gothic building in a message to the French president today. She said, "Prince Philip and I have been deeply saddened to see the images of the fire which has engulfed Notre Dame Cathedral. I extend my sincere admiration to the emergency services who have risked their lives to try to save this important national monument. My thoughts and prayers are with those who worship at the cathedral and all of France at this difficult time." In his own message to President Macron, Prince Charles hailed the cathedral as having truly special significance and a treasure for all mankind. He said, "My wife and I were utterly heartbroken to learn of the terrible fire at Notre Dame Cathedral this evening, and wanted to let you know immediately how much we are thinking of yourself and the French people at this most agonizing of times, and of the emergency services who are so bravely tackling the blaze. I realize only too well what a truly special significance the cathedral holds at the heart of your nation. But also for us all outside France, it represents one of the greatest architectural achievements of Western civilization. It is a treasure for all mankind, and, as such, to witness its destruction in this most dreadful conflagration is a shattering tragedy, the unbearable pain of which we all share. Monsieur le President, our hearts go out to you and the people of France more than you can ever know, especially in view of our experience with the devastating fire at Windsor Castle 27 years ago. We send you our most profound sympathy, however inadequate that may be. Detectives investigating the catastrophic blaze are today interviewing specialist restorers who were carrying out works on its iconic spire when the inferno broke out. French police are understood to have launched a criminal inquiry after a stray flame caused the landmark to become engulfed in fire last night, with heroic firefighters battling for 8 hours to bring the blaze under control. Attention has now turned to what may have caused the landmark, part of which was being restored in a £5 million refurbishment, to fall victim to such a disaster. Late last night, the Paris prosecutor's office said it would carry out an investigation into involuntary destruction caused by fire, indicating authorities are treating the blaze as a tragic accident and not arson or terrorism. Just under 400 firefighters tackled the historic blaze through the night, battling to stop its wreaking complete destruction of the treasured facade after flames torched the roof, sending its spire crashing to the ground before crowds of horrified Parisians. 2 police officers and 1 firefighter were injured during the blaze, which broke out at around 7 p.m. in Paris last night and was finally extinguished this morning. Speaking in front of the cathedral, Junior Interior Minister Laurent Nunez said, "The task overnight was to bring the fire under control so it doesn't restart. The task is now the risk of fire has been put aside about the building, how the structure will resist." The Paris Fire Service, Pompiers de Paris, said on Twitter that Notre Dame's structure and artworks had been saved. It said, "The structure of the cathedral is saved and the main works of art have been safeguarded, thanks to the combined action of the various state services committed to our side." Officials consider the fire an accident, possibly as a result of restoration work taking place at the global architectural treasure. Gabriel Plus, a spokesman for Paris firefighters, said emergency services were currently surveying the movement of the structures and extinguishing smoldering residues. Scores of Parisians gathered on the banks of the Seine as the sun rose on Tuesday morning to survey the damage to their beloved landmark. Ashes from the cathedral spire blew across the banks of the river, along with the blossom from Notre Dame's gardens. Daniel Edev, 70, said, "It's a very sad picture. For over 800 years this cathedral has been passed from generation to generation. Now I question what state we will pass it on to the generations after us." A 55-year-old art historian, who gave his name as Fabrice, said it was hard to believe that this is happening in Paris. Part of ourselves has been destroyed. He said, "I always go for a walk in this area every day and come to see Notre Dame. It's like coming to visit an elderly parent." Mr. Plus said that now the fire is out, this phase is for the experts to plan how to consolidate the edifice. Hundreds of millions of euros have been pledged to rebuild the national monument. while French President Emmanuel Macron said a national subscription would be launched when he visited the scene on Monday night. French tycoon Bernard Arnault and his luxury goods group LVMH have pledged €200 million towards the reconstruction of Notre Dame, following a reported €100 million donation from another French billionaire, François Pinault. And the UK ambassador to France, Ed Llewellyn, said the country stands ready to help with efforts to restore the building. Meanwhile, European Council President Donald Tusk called on the EU's member countries to help, saying the site in Paris is a symbol of what binds Europe together. Mr. Tusk told representatives that the blaze.
What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment box below and don't forget to subscribe to get instant news updates.